story this hour. Kulbhushan Jadhav has been given the death sentence in Pakistan.
कुलभूषण को वापस लाइए, ये आपकी मांग है?
जरूर, हम लोग वहाँ जब पकड़ा था वो तभी से मांग कर रहे थे कि भाई भारत सरकार से कहा था कि ये पाकिस्तान का भरोसा नहीं है, वो सरबजीत ऐसे ही कुछ करेंगे और आखिर वैसे ही किया। उन्होंने 1 साल के अंदर ही उसको फांसी की सजा सुनाई है।
अभी पूरी चीज का जांच होने तो उसके बाद बात करें।
आज हम लोगों को जागना चाहिए। जो जवाहरलाल नेहरू के टाइम से कोई ऐसी कि हिंदू मुस्लिम एकता के लिए इंडिया पाकिस्तान की भी दोस्ती होनी चाहिए, उस गलत फहमी से और भ्रम से मुक्त होकर आज हमें निश्चित तौर पर पाकिस्तान को सख्त कार्रवाई करने की तैयारी करनी चाहिए।
The government of India must immediately intervene in this matter. A civilian from India cannot be hanged by the establishment in Pakistan. And on what grounds? There are serious terrorists who are nurtured in the state of Pakistan.
And I think the whole conduct of the Pakistani establishment towards this gentleman has been extremely inconsistent with what civilized countries do. And I believe that this is almost a travesty of justice. Any person is entitled to a due process of law. And I believe strongly that he was denied that due process of law.
I personally feel that a person going like this, and if RAW has sent it, I think RAW must wake up. This is not the way to send people. We have to train the boys. And in case we are sending them, then they have to train them. Now, apparently this chap has not been trained. And how he has reached there, he's an ex-army officer, ex-naval officer. And now he's been caught and sentenced to death.
All right, let's open this up now. Major General Sheru Thapliyal, defense analyst, is joining us live, as is Krishna Sagar Rao, spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party, is live with us from Hyderabad. But I want to first get in some perspective and some more details from Foreign Affairs editor Geeta Mohan. Geeta, shock and outrage in India after Pakistan has decided to award the death penalty to Kulbhushan Jadhav without a real trial, without any legal help or assistance from India. Has India lodged a protest as yet? We do believe they were planning to.
Well, that's right. A very strong démarche has been lodged by the Indian Foreign Secretary when he summoned Pakistani High Commissioner Abdul Basit to Ministry of External Affairs, and not just detailing out what was told to Pakistan High Commissioner Abdul Basit about the fact that this is not in keeping with the international norms, but also going ahead and saying, and a stern message at that to Pakistan, that if Pakistan goes ahead with this, then this would tantamount to a premeditated murder. That's the extent of anger that Indian establishment is feeling. Also saying that there are many times, umpteen number of times, that the Indian mission in Islamabad sought consular access. No access is given. The mission was not even informed that they're trying Kulbhushan Jadhav. That is a basic thing that is done when a trial of an individual of another nationality really takes place. Also, more importantly, it was all done in camera. There was no access, no information in a military court, and then the awarding of sentence. What is the most shocking is the haste in which Pakistan has carried out the entire trial. Just goes to show that Pakistan, one, is quite desperate. They, in all probability, want a response, a reaction from the Indian side. Will that really lead to political outreach? Will that lead to engagement with Pakistan at a certain level to negotiate terms on Kulbhushan Jadhav? What are the options that the Indian establishment has there at this point in time, apart from the fact that there can be diplomatic protests that can be lodged, given that it's going to be a tough ask, a very tall ask for India to ensure that Kulbhushan Jadhav returns. Sarabjit languished in a Pakistani jail for over 2 decades and then died in Pakistan. We do know that there were no hopes. It was a it was a losing battle for India to have an Indian captured from a foreign land, Iran, taken to Pakistan, and then making him talk on camera, admitting that he indeed was a spy for the Indian establishment. Having said that, it is going to be difficult, but there are options that the Indian establishment will be mulling as to how to ensure that this life is not lost like the past lives.
Indeed, and we're also opening it out for our viewers now. Our viewers can call in and have their say on this story. It's time for Indians to speak up for justice against Jadhav. What are your opinions on this story? What do you want to convey to the Indian government? What do you really want to say to Pakistan, who's handed out this, this shocking order in the first place? Well, our phone lines are open. There you can see our numbers flashing on your screens. You can call in. We're taking your calls live. But I want to quickly get in Krishna Sagar Rao at this point. Krishna Sagar Rao, we do believe that strong protest has, of course, been lodged. And do you believe it is necessary? Because Pakistan needs to realize that India is not going to take things lying down. They cannot persecute our nationals there in this arbitrary manner, without a proper trial, without legal assistance, without consular access. Mr. Sagar Rao, that question was for you, if you can hear me.
Personal human rights,
okay,
and also...
Go ahead, sir.
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. See, India is shocked and pained at this arbitrary, unilateral, illegal detention, trial, and now the sentencing of Mr. Jadhav. And the MEA has given a very strong démarche today to Mr. Basit, and two been handed over to him, and this is against, and this is in violation of Mr. Jadhav's personal human rights and also any international covenant and laws which guard the foreign under trials. First of all, right from the word go.
All right, I think we seem to have lost you, Mr. Rao. We'll just try and re-establish that connection there. But if I can get in, Major General Thapliyal at this point of time, Major General Sheru Thapliyal, this just shows why things haven't improved between India and Pakistan. Every time India tries and makes some conciliatory gestures, Pakistan stabs us in the back. That's why the government has decided to suspend talks in the first place. They realize they can't achieve anything before Islamabad makes things clear that they do stand for resolution of talks. They do want to, distinguish between terror and diplomacy. But things just don't change. The more things, it seems, are improving, the more they go back to step one. So how's things going to change in the first place, Major General Thapliyal?
Yes, absolutely right. If you recall, after the Uri attack, we had contemplated taking a few steps, but unfortunately none of them was taken, So first thing, that right now the parliament is in session, so first action should be to have a joint declaration declaring Pakistan a terrorist state. We keep calling other countries of the world that you declare Pakistan a terrorist state. Why don't you do it yourself? That should be the first thing that should be done tomorrow morning. And thereafter, withdraw the MFN treaty. Why should we give MFN status to a country which doesn't accord us the same, status? Then stop all these buses moving from Punch to Rawalakot and from Uri to Muzaffarabad. Stop them forthwith. Stop all trade which is taking place at the border posts. So these are some of the steps which need to be taken. And also you need to take up this issue, take it to the International Court of Justice and say that it's a complete travesty of the law. There's no way things can be done in this manner. So what I'm trying to say is that we need to be proactive. Instead of lamenting that Pakistan is not doing this, Pakistan is not doing this. What are you doing yourself? So unless tough steps are taken, nothing is going to come out.
Indeed. In fact, we're also being joined at this point by Colonel Dhanveer Singh, defense analyst in our studios. Welcome to the program, sir. But before I get you into the broadcast, I want to get in our first viewer, because we have opened it out for our callers, our viewers, to also have their say on this show. Anil is calling in from Gwalior. Anil, go ahead.
Yeah. As far as international relations are concerned, we have to depend only and only on reciprocity. If we have Pakistan's deep assets in our hands, we can handle it. If we don't have, we can't handle it. We cannot drive out Pakistan, a terrorist state or a terrorist, from a situation. In the present condition, what we have got is a succession of events from Pandit Nehru. Pakistan has been bribed out of the situation, and that bribe has to stop. And you have to have a killing instinct in dealing with them.
Yes, in fact, thanks, Anil, for calling in there from Gwalior, having your say. Other viewers too can, of course, continue to call in. Colonel Dhanveer Singh, what do you make, sir, of this decision by Pakistan? You know, they've taken a clear step back. They've decided to persecute our Indian national there without a fair trial. Do you feel then that the decision of the government to suspend talks with them is completely justified? Looking at this decision, this shows that Pakistan is not interested in friendship with India, is not interested in peace with India. Colonel Dhanveer Singh.
Absolutely, this particular act, or this particular judgment that has been pronounced will have a direct bearing on the Indo-Pak relationship, and definitely they are not going to get better. Point here to understand is, I'll take your mind back on the 7th December 2016, when Sartaj Aziz made a statement that there is no conclusive evidence against this individual. The dossier prepared is just a collection of statements. There is no evidence. And within, I think, 24 hours, he had to retract. And thereafter, a decision was taken that he'll be tried by the military court. So it was quite evident that military was not interested in leaving this individual, which India had claimed that he was on a business mission at Chabahar, and this claim of India was seconded by Iran. And India said that while he was carrying out business from Chabahar, he was abducted by the ISI. So, seeing all these, probably Pakistan military wanted to settle some scores of sorts. I don't know what intentions it had at the word go, but this is how it has translated that the Indo-Pak relationship will not come back on track very soon, as people may be expecting.
Yeah, you know, Mr. Rao, I believe you wanted to come in there. Mr. Krishna Sagar Rao, I could see your hand up. Do you want to come in?
Yes. Uday, I think my network here is pretty bad, so I think I was cut off in between. I'm sorry about it.
Yeah.
See, Pakistan is in violation of all regional international laws and covenants of civil and military justice. And the entire process of picking up Mr. Jadhav from Iran to the shabby trial and the sham called trial and the sentencing is totally against the fundamentals of natural law and justice. And it shows that the transformation of Pakistan to be a rogue state is complete with this kind of abrasive and a brazen action which they have performed on a civilian being picked up in Iran, and neither there was a pre-trial, pre-arrest, post-detention, pre-trial interventions by any agencies of the neutral agencies nor of India. And the Indian government has intervened and requested for 13 times for an intervention, a consular intervention, which was rejected. And this will not even happen during the wartime, leave alone the peacetime. And this man was not picked up in any action. This man was not picked up in a terrorist activity or in the middle of a terrorist action. So it is absurd and a sham that Pakistan is dealing with India in such a way. And certainly India will rebut as necessarily as it should be in the due course. And we will do whatever it can. I think I cannot speak for the government, but the government will utilize all its resources to ensure this sham trial and its sentence is not effected on Mr. Jadhav.
Indeed. Well, in fact, we're being joined now by another viewer. Gangadhar is calling in.
We will use all the
Gangadharan
options
is calling
available.
in from Pune. Gangadharan, go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead, sir, we can hear you.
Yeah, our tolerance power is over. We must attack the Pakistan now. It is high time.
Okay, so you're
Just
saying it's
like
time.
a surgical strike, we must bring back Mr. Jadhav. We must do surgical strike. We must attack that jail wherever he is kept. He must be brought back, even if we have to attack Pakistan. It is high time we have to teach a lesson to them.
Okay, so surgical strikes needed to get back Jadhav, says Gangadharan there. Thanks for calling in from Pune. Geeta, I want to quickly go across to Geeta Mohan, who's still with us. Let's try and pull her up again. Yeah, Geeta, you know, you spoke to, of course, the Pakistan High Commissioner, Abdul Basit, in an exclusive interview just a few days back. And, you know, throughout the course of the interview, of course, he kept on harping upon the points when asked certain pointed questions that Pakistan is examining proof against Hafiz Saeed. Pakistan is examining proof against the other terrorists. They're looking at evidence. It seems they're on a fast-track trial basis when it comes to Jadhav, but a slow-track trial when it comes to the others. This is clear duplicity, isn't it, Geeta?
Absolutely, Uday. Not the first time that we are seeing Pakistan drag its feet on terrorist attacks, but on a man they caught on foreign soil. They have already charged him. They have all the evidence in place for the activities of espionage and anti-Pakistan activities, and certainly have now sentenced him to death, while those who have planned attacks, of which there was proof, there was a live terrorist caught, those people roam around scot-free or are allowed to speak in the manner in which they are, allowed to indoctrinate, allowed to take people and the youth of Pakistan into their own fold, and allowed to attack and act against India and Indian interests. All that is allowed, and that certainly is no evidence for Pakistan. But when it comes to this one person, they not only found, and they were very efficient at that, found evidence, but they found evidence enough to start a trial without informing the Indian High Commission, without letting anybody know, in secrecy, completed the trial and have sentenced the man also. Quite interesting and certainly duplicitous in many ways than one, given that there are so many evidences that have been provided to, and dossiers after dossiers provided to Pakistan, but the High Commissioner kept saying that there is no evidence to try, to even try Hafiz Saeed and Zakir Rahman Lakvi, including Masood Azhar.
Indeed. Stay with us. In fact, what we're also doing now is we're putting out a couple of important numbers for you. So just a quick update for our viewers. We're putting out the number of the Defense Minister Khwaja Asif there in Pakistan. You can talk to him directly. We're also putting out the DG ISPR number there, and also his Twitter handle. You can reach out to him directly, express your outrage, express your shock, and express the feeling of justice for Jadhav directly to these individuals who, of course, are very high up in the Pakistan establishment. Let's get your voice heard this evening on NewsX, and of course also directly to these individuals. We're putting out their numbers. We're also putting out their Twitter handles, so you can call them up. You can tweet them as well. Let's convey directly to Pakistan how upset India is at this arbitrary decision. I want to quickly go across to another political reaction we're getting in. Independent MP of the Rajya Sabha, Rajiv Chandrasekhar, speaking out to my colleague Vijay Lakshmi.
Death sentence in Pakistan. We know people like, Hafiz Saeed and others are roaming freely, but this man who was nabbed by the agencies last year only has been given a death sentence.
No, I think this again confirms and reconfirms and reaffirms the quixotic contradiction that is Pakistan. That a man of a different country that is arrested by their agency, accused of certain charges, is denied the due process of law and convicted to death. While there are people within their country who are aiding, abetting, convicted of causing human carnage and death, that are running around freely. So I think this, in a lot of ways, is a tragic example of what Pakistan is. It is really not about laws. It is not about a civilized set of rules and due process. It is about propaganda and lynch mobs to back that propaganda.
So India has provided enough of proof to Pakistan vis-a-vis Mumbai attack or other, terror attacks that have taken place on our soil. Pakistan till this date has been in denial mode. But of course, as far as this case is concerned, Sartaj Aziz says that this gentleman was involved in terror activities in Pakistan. They've reached on a conclusion in a year's time period.
No, so like, that's what I said. I think Pakistan is this living, breathing example of a set of contradictions that never quite reconcile in itself. It is a hotbed of terrorism. It supports terrorism. It has claimed more lives as a nation.
A breaking reaction coming in. Uddhav Thackeray of the Shiv Sena speaking up.
सर हिंदी में सर इंग्लिश में सर इंग्लिश में नहीं बोलेंगे सर इंग्लिश में कुलभूषण पे कुलभूषण जाधव अभी मैंने बोल दिया मौत की सजा दी है
अत्यंत दुर्दैवी हा प्रकार आहे आणि मला असं वाटतं आपल्या सरकारने अगदी जरूर पडली तर टोकाची भूमिका घेऊन कुलभूषण वरती अन्याय होत असेल तर त्यांना वाचवायला पाहिजे
हिंदी में सर इंग्लिश में नहीं बोलेंगे
हो पण मला बैठक तर उद्या ना विषय माहिती नाही मला
कुलभूषण जाधव जो रोके उनको जो पाकिस्तान ने मौत की सजा दी है उस पर
अत्यंत दुर्दैवी हा प्रकार आहे आणि मला असं वाटतं आपल्या सरकारने अगदी जरूर पडली तर टोकाची भूमिका घेऊन कुलभूषण वरती अन्याय होत असेल तर त्यांना वाचवायला पाहिजे अभी आप
सर इंग्लिश में
नाव लिहिली आहे असं मला नहीं रे अभी नहीं अभी मैंने बोल दिया प्लीज आप बोल दो
Restoring peace in Balochistan and Karachi. The accused was provided with defending offer as per legal provisions. आणि Javed Bawa has confirmed his death sentence switched by FGCM. Has confirmed. तुम्ही नंतर ते झाल्यावर दे
जरा काय करा म्हणून
आता हे त्यांचं स्टेटमेंट आहे
कन्फर्म केलं मृत्यूदंड कन्फर्म
त्याला
वाचण्यासाठी आम्ही सगळी संधी दिलेली आहे त्याचं म्हणणं आहे पाकिस्तानचं
तसं नाही त्याला शिक्षा अंमलबजावणी झाली
नाही अंमलबजावणी झाली नाही आजच घोषणा झाली आज घोषणा झाली अंमलबजावणी झाली नाही अजून
हुसेन मुबारक पटेल
अंमलबजावणी झाली नाही अजून
तेवढं आता पण हा विषय निघणार
ठीक आहे
तिथं बाईट देणार आहात तुम्ही
मला माहित नाही आता विषय काय निघणार
विषय राष्ट्रपती
चला ठीक चल
All right, that of course was Uddhav Thackeray of the Shiv Sena reacting there on this story. Let's get in further details now for the perspective from our panelists who of course are live with us. Colonel Danveer Singh, I want to get you in here on this decision which has taken everyone by surprise. You know, what really explains it according to you? What is going through Pakistan's head when they've decided to award Jadhav death penalty, to take this decision, taking India and Indians out of the blue?
Like we were just talking during the break, probably we have virtually ignored Pakistan. We have been saying that we will only talk once you stop terror, and we are not listening to Pakistan on the talks which they want desperately to get indulged in with India. So probably this way they said that okay, probably if you are not listening to us otherwise, if we do such a act which we say it is stupid, and it is stupid, that probably you may we may draw your attention towards us, and you may end up talking. Well, this is just a wild one, but you know, it was such a foolish kind of a thing that has come. Even the Pakistanis that side are quite stunned. Look at the way the Pakistani journalists have reacted on the other side, and eminent persons on Pakistan side have reacted. Just go through the Twitter line and you'll realize that they are not very happy with this kind of a decision or this kind of a judgment that has emerged in Pakistan.
Indeed, and you know, Major General Thapliyal, there was a big espionage racket which was busted not too long back in the Pakistan High Commission as well. You know, we didn't sentence any of those staffers to death. We didn't take such a dramatic call. What, according to you, should be India's response, sir, to this provocation by Pakistan? We do believe, of course, that there has been that strong protest lodged. But how should India take this forward? Major General Thapliyal.
Yeah, we need to, I have said it before a short while ago, we need to be proactive and take steps which we've been contemplating ever since the Uri terror attack. Why aren't we doing something? Why aren't we being proactive? I said, to begin with, Parliament is in session. A resolution should be passed unanimously declaring Pakistan a terrorist state. Instead of asking other countries of the world to do this for us, we need to do it ourselves first. And then there are other measures like withdraw the MFN status, stop cross-border trade, stop these Samjhauta Express and buses flying from one country to the other. There are many things that can be done. Proactive, they must be done.
No, that's a very valid point. That's a very valid point you're making. Unfortunately, I'm going